Welcome to Powered by Authenticity. I hope everyone is off to a great week and enjoying all of the wonderful, beautiful fall air that we've had. A little chill in the air this morning, as a matter of fact. But the podcast studio is super warm this evening, and part of that is just from the amazing, brilliant sunshine radiation that my guest brings to the show tonight. Kendra Brim, welcome to Powered by Authenticity.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. How about you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. My name is Kendra Brim. I am the president and CEO of Savannah Consulting, where we do a lot of strategy work, learning how to operationalize a lot of the business ideas, specifically when it comes to equity and inclusion internally for organizations here in Western New York and Buffalo. We also do the Out of Bounds organization as well. And Out of Bounds really came from my passion of playing sports and basketball. And Out of Bounds, we work with student athletes from high school all the way beyond to help them transition to the next phase of their life. And I am a avid Bills fan, although, we saw the result recently, but I'm just happy to be here.
Well, thanks for being here. And I know a little sadness in the Bills community right now, but we'll get through it.
We will. We absolutely will.
Resilience. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I know it's busy, but we appreciate it. And I can't wait to chat with you and let everyone get to know you a little bit further. And one of the things we like to do here at the podcast is have a little bit of an icebreaker. Mm-hmm. And we think that food is one of the biggest connectors that we have with each other. So I was curious, what's your go-to restaurant in Buffalo?
So I have two go-to restaurants. Depending, of course, on my mood. The number one is for chicken wings, right? We always have to have our best wing spot. And I love Gabriel's Gate, which specifically the hot wings. Now the hot, very hot, so be careful. But I love a good Gabriel's Gate wing. And then also to Bratz Hill. I love Bratz Hill for the Rasta pasta. They're located down in Larkinville. And so they're a really great option for dinner. And then also lunch. They have a really good jerk chicken salad that I enjoy as well.
Well, Bratz Hill is on my list. So I follow like Chef Darian on social platforms, and that's like a goal one day is to get to meet him and have some food.
He's a great guy. So I'm so happy for him and his wife, Jessica, on their business ventures.
Oh, that's awesome. And I've never had wings at Gabriel's Gate, but it's like huge wing fan, and I can't believe my son is laughing. I can't believe this, Mom.
I'm only laughing because I've never had wings there either. I walked in the door and got turned away one time or got kicked out.
Oh no!
Party
it again.
I always like to say I got kicked out of Gabriel's Gate before I ever got to try the wings, but it's really just went in with too large of a party.
Makes him sound cool. Well, Ken, what's your go-to restaurant?
Oh, I think I've shared my love for Bar-Bill over and over again, but yes. I started thinking about some different lunch spots that I like to hit in the Buffalo area, and Salito Lindo over on Transit Road. Great tacos.
Good to know. I love tacos too. A good Taco Tuesday with some good margaritas.
Absolutely.
Now we're talking.
Not at lunchtime, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of like some fun places that we go. We love like Chop House and Mulberry. And there's a little restaurant called McPartland's. And that just was my husband's grandmother worked there like forever. And they're just a little gem spot.
Yes.
Kind of tugs at the heart. So
yes. We have good food here in Western New York for sure.
We do. We're very blessed.
Yes.
Thanks for doing that. We love to get to know people on that little bit of a personal level. And speaking of food and everyone's love for food, you founded Black Restaurant Week for Buffalo?
I did. I absolutely did. Yeah. So
how did that come about?
So back in 2015, I joined the Buffalo Urban League Young Professionals, which is an auxiliary of the Buffalo Urban League, where we focus on financial empowerment. We focus on education and really uplifting our community here in Western New York. So I became a part of Buffalo Urban League Young Professionals in 2015. In 2017, I became the president of the Young Professionals. And, one of the things that I always think about is wherever I go is, what do I want my legacy to be? And so I had an opportunity of visiting different cities while I was the president of the Young Professionals. And one of the cities was Memphis. And they had something similar of Black Restaurant Week. I had an opportunity of really connecting with the founder. And I said, this is something we can bring to Buffalo. At the time in 2017, it was a time where not that many Black and brown restaurants were here in Buffalo. It was maybe less than 10, but I also thought it was an opportunity to continue to highlight those restaurants and question why they weren't a part of the regular Buffalo Restaurant Week. A lot of it was access or lack thereof. And then the other part of it was just people didn't know they existed. And so myself and the team at the time decided to come up with Black Restaurant Week. It started off as a weekend of 5 small restaurants, and it has grown to over 50 restaurants since 2018. And so it is a really great opportunity just to sample the cuisine that comes out of those great restaurants, the conversation, the community, and really uplifting the families that put their heart and soul into bringing great cuisine to our communities. And so I'm very happy that it's continued to go forward, and every year people look forward to it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I looked up. It's usually in February, I believe.
So it started off in February, and then it got moved to August, which is Black Business Month.
Okay.
And then in February, actually, when we started the first time, it was a blizzard. People still came out and supported, and so we decided to move it to August because, again, it's just an opportunity to get out more and not get caught up in Buffalo snow.
Okay, well, you can't get much more Buffalo than a blizzard on a
right.
weekend.
Right.
That is so cool, and I love the mission behind that, and just bringing awareness. So amazing, and it's cool that you were able to connect with another city that had done that and help to bring that forward to our local community. So that's just so cool.
Yeah. So every August is a great time. I try to get to at least one restaurant per day, whether it's lunch or dinner. Sometimes it's both. But it's, again, really great opportunity just to connect. I actually had an opportunity to connect with Chef Darian a few years ago at Black Restaurant Week. And this year, he also was on the list. And so we were able to break bread together and really talk about his vision behind some of the specials he has as well. So it's just a great time to connect with community.
Yeah, I love that. And it goes back to our feeling of food being a great connector. So
Yes,
that's so
absolutely.
cool. Well, I love that. And so I think one of the roles that you also have is with Leadership Buffalo. Is that correct?
Yes. So I am I'm the Vice President of Programs Organizational Advancement at Leadership Buffalo, at LB, as we affectionately call it. It's a place where we allow for civic transformation, civic engagement, really transforming a leader from the inside out. We always say the community is our classroom. So every month we get out and we learn about different initiatives within our Western New York community and Greater Buffalo, whether it's healthcare, whether it's arts, culture, and tourism, environmental and ecology day. But it's really an opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals and then the key stakeholders in Greater Buffalo to talk about areas of opportunity and where people can personally get plugged in our community. So I love my job. I always say every day is an opportunity to connect with so many different people. And it really gives me the energy to keep going.
Yeah. So question. So I know in Genesee County, we have Leadership Genesee. So same type of thing. Are they somehow connected?
Yeah. So we are all under the Association for Leadership Programs, ALP. Which is down in Texas. And so we're all under the same umbrella. We don't necessarily work hand in hand together just because we are in different regions and different areas, but it's the same premise. But each organization runs it completely differently. So I know with us at Leadership Buffalo, being one of the biggest ones in the region, we have 5 programs coming out of ours. For our flagship programs, we have close to 100 people between the 2 programs. For our Rising Leaders in Class experience, we have about 40 for our youth every year. And then our smaller cohorts of Leadership Buffalo Essentials and Experience Buffalo, we have about 20. So we're dealing with about 200 people on a monthly basis through our programs.
That's amazing. So that youth program, does that takes youth into different businesses across Buffalo as well and lets them
Yep.
get that experience?
Yep, same premise. We focus on things like communication with them. We focus on community involvement, financial literacy. And so we do that working with several banks, working with organizations like United Way, to really help them move into the next phase of their life for college. And so we really evaluate them off of some of the college, what we call the NACE agreements. That they need to know for college and beyond. So we work on those 10 type of agreements to help them, go into the next phase of their lives.
That's so cool.
Yes.
I don't think I had anything like that available to me when I was in high school.
Yes, it is. It's wonderful. I am a product of Youth Leadership Buffalo. So I graduated from that years ago. And then I also graduated from my Rising Leaders class. And now I work for Leadership Buffalo. So full circle moment.
That's great. That's awesome. How do the youth find out about do you go out to the school systems or do you work together? Yeah.
Yep. We go out to the schools. We also work with youth groups in our area as well. We're part of like a bigger consortium, so we get the word out that way. And then it's a word of mouth. So many people come back to us and say, my siblings went through it, or my neighbor, or my friend at school, or my teacher told me about it. And so I would say about 80% is word of mouth, and the rest is just through our relationships that we have in our community.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
So first of all, great opportunity for adults as you're trying to, coach yourself up. I think because you never know what you're going to learn from other industries as well. I've through the podcast, I've learned so much from people who are I'm in tech. But as outside of technology, I've learned so much from
Yeah.
people who are out there hustling the same way. We're going through the similar situations. It's like,
Yep.
I learn a different perspective and way of thinking about things. So what a cool opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, I always say community is, what you make of it, and we have to be interconnected. And we have to know what each other is doing in order to really make sure that we're thriving in our world today. So
Yeah, that's great. And outside of Leadership Buffalo, you mentioned Out of Bounds.
yes.
So share a little bit more about Out of Bounds and the mission.
Yeah, so Out of Bounds came from really my passion. So I played Division I college basketball at Colgate University, but I played obviously basketball my entire life. And I started playing when I was 6 years old. And so you can only imagine when you're putting your all into something, whether it's, you're a musician or you're playing sports, but when you start when you were a kid and then you move up into your adult, you graduate and then you're like, what's next? So I personally struggled after college. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. All I knew was really basketball, although my major was political science. I had an opportunity to live overseas in Australia, did so many different things, but I really wanted to continue to play basketball, but my body was breaking down and I could not do it any longer. And so I really slipped into this phase of depression, trying to figure out again, what's next, gain weight, all the different things. I was really throwing things against the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And so during that time, I said, well, I wish, I had a mentor. I wish I had someone to tell me, this is what you should be doing. This is the next phase of your life. You're a leader. These are the things that you've always honed in on. And so just expand upon it. And so I started mentoring young adults when I finally got it together. But it took me some time, right? About 10 years later. And so I started Out of Bounds, and really Out of Bounds, we help student athletes move into the next phase of their life. But it really should begin with a conversation that starts at the beginning, starts when they are in high school, start when they're in college, to really, again, hone in on those leadership skills, talk about teamwork, talk about collaboration, resilience, and how do you translate that into when you're an adult. Statistics show that about 98% of folks are not going pro. And that's a high percentage, and that's a tough reality for so many. And so what we do at Out of Bounds is we step in and say, you can do it, right? You can move into the next phase of your life with confidence as long as you prepare yourself to do so. So it really came out of a passion project, which I'm able to move into now a business.
Oh, that's amazing. And just to have a place where kids can go and speak to somebody who's been through it, like that whole mentor relationship and helping them guide, because it's also very unique. I know if I'm sure for yourself, it's like, where do you go after you've had that experience? And now you've got an organization where kids know that they're in a safe space, can talk about what they're feeling, and have someone guide them into they can use that to have it as fuel for where they're going to go to next.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we do provide mentorship. There's so many people, especially in this area, whether you play basketball, football, hockey, swimming, softball, there's so many people that you can connect with. And so really that mentorship piece is very important. We deliver workshops as well. And so there's so many different things that we do to help connect our student athletes to the next phase in their life. So it's a great opportunity, very fulfilling. And I love meeting so many student athletes as well.
Oh, that's so great. And we'll put links to that in our show notes. And, because I think that it's a unique opportunity. Again, kids are put their hearts and souls into D1. I mean, I can't even imagine the schedule that you had during college to be able to keep up with D1.
Yes, insane. But I always say time management is what came out of it. You wake up at 5 a.m. and you may go to bed at 10, maybe midnight because of homework, and you get up and do it all over again. You have some travel in between, and you have everything else, all the other commitments. But time management is something that I learned from that experience. So I tell student athletes, again, you don't have to throw it all away. What did you learn during that time that you can translate into the world today?
Yeah, transferable skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And one thing that you're also mentioning there, which I think ties in, is networking almost. Like these kids have now a place to additionally go network. Just like adults, I know it's a critical tool for growth. What are some ideas that you have for others? I'm sure you have been out and about in the networking opportunities. I think I actually met you through maybe a Tech Buffalo
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yep.
And it's fun. There's so many networking opportunities, but sometimes you don't know even where to start. So if somebody's really struggling with how to go about networking, or, where do you begin? What are some words of advice that you would have for somebody?
Yeah, for networking can be very intimidating. I was firsthand was that person to say, I'm walking in the room and I have to speak to how many people, right? So, for me, the way I started with networking is to say, as long as I talked to two people, I did what I needed to do. It's really important to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow. And that's where out of bounds really comes from. It's like, in the sports world, we talk about staying in bounds because that's where magic happens, right? But I turn that and flip it on its head to say stepping out of bounds is a choice, and it's a brave choice. And so in order to grow, you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of bounds. And so for me, networking is super important. Again, if you have the goal of speaking to two people or three people, then you've accomplished that goal, right? And I always say with networking, it's not always extracting from other people. It's to say, what do you have in common? What can you learn from each other? And take those lessons and start to apply them into whether it's your daily life or whatever the case may be. And you don't have to go to everything, right? You don't have to have your calendar super busy. Maybe it's just, one networking opportunity a quarter, and maybe you turn into a month. But it's super important because I always say that, collaboration is the new competition, right? And so we really need to continue to collaborate together and work with each other in order to move to the next phase of implementation, or next phase of your life, or next phase of your job. But I do recognize it can be intimidating, but set smaller goals for yourself so you're not overwhelmed when you go into a room. And also to know that you belong, right? A lot of people walk into a room and say, I'm so intimidated. I don't belong here. What do I do? You belong. You absolutely do. And walk in the room like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a couple of things are: one, I love breaking it down to those smaller, tangible goals, the two people. Because some of these events are huge. Like you walk in and there's hundreds of people, and it's really easy to want to turn around and leave and go home. If you're me, put pajamas on and eat popcorn. It's more
Right.
important for you to be there. So I love breaking that down. The other thing that I liked about that too is maybe even finding people who are wildly outside of your maybe stream of industry, because you're going to still learn something, and it might even be more comfortable to talk to somebody, like finding almost somebody to network to with that is more along of your hobbies, and you get to know them that way.
Yeah. Or, and to your point, right, find someone that is either completely outside of your industry, like you said, right? Like for me, one of the things that I am very curious about is AI. I mean, we always say that we need to know the future of AI. You may not necessarily know how to work it, but it knows how to work you, if that makes sense. I'm sitting here with my phone, my iPhone, and I kept saying earlier today, this whole thing is a machine. AI has taken over. But I really want to learn more about AI and how I can use it for my business, because that is the future. And so for me, I'm going into rooms where people are talking about, the future of AI. How do you use it? How do you integrate it? Best practices historically. And I wrote about this on LinkedIn in my newsletter. I talked about, growing up, and I'm pretty sure you're the same. We were told never to give your information to a machine, right? Protect your information. And now all that has changed, and AI is integrated into everything we do, whether it's our cell phones, whether it's our computers, whether it's our cars. I drive an electric car. And so AI is everywhere. And so again, we need to learn how to work with it. And so that's something that I'm personally trying to network with people on to learn more about.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that. One of the first, like really techie events that I walked into was about AI. And I was feeling like I had no business being in the room, because a lot of the conversation at that point, I was having a hard time digesting, right? But the fun part about that was that I got to hear how people were actually applying it in their business. And so once you got past the tech and could hear the use case story,
Yes.
that's when it starts to click. And then all of the other tech stuff fell into place for me. But it was that first of, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Because that is an intimidating topic.
It is. It is. And sometimes you're just like, okay, first step, let me just take a step back, digest what everyone is saying. And the next time I can, be integrated a little bit more. But no, I definitely hear you. It's intimidating for sure.
Yeah, that's so cool. And it's so funny. I drive a Tesla, and it's
Same.
and it's like the car just drives for you, and you're like, that's not what my mom told me to do.
Exactly. You just get in the car and go, press the button and it goes.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I love your ideas around networking. I really really love that advice of the small goals and tasks. The other thing I wanted to mention, because I think I felt it, and I'm curious if you have, is that sometimes where I start with a networking group, it's okay to grow out of that or to grow beyond it. And I think it's okay to recognize when that needs to happen, because as you evolve and grow for yourself, what fit yesterday may not fit tomorrow, and that's okay.
That is so key. I'm challenging myself with that right now. I know in Buffalo and Western New York, we sometimes succumb to a groupthink mentality. And so I think about this all the time where, you may not necessarily be able to grow when that happens.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm challenging myself to get out of my comfort zone and actually go to other cities, go to conferences, network with other groups outside of those cities, really utilize technology. You can hop on a Zoom, message someone on LinkedIn and connect with them that way, and have them challenge your thoughts and your ideas as well, or see how you can improve upon a business idea. And so for me, that has been something I've been really intentional about in the past year, and not necessarily going on behalf of an organization, just going on behalf of myself.
Yep.
Which I have found to be very fruitful recently. And I come back with so many ideas, and because I can't sit down, I'm always workshopping something, or I have a whiteboard that just always has my crazy ideas out there that I hope one day will come through fruition. But, I'm always challenging myself for that. And that's okay, right? It's okay if you outgrow those spaces, because you always want to continue to grow.
Yeah. No, I love that. And the one thing that you mentioned there, which I think is such a useful tool, is LinkedIn, and going out there and finding people who are doing something that you that you would like to learn more about or have an interest in, and just saying, "Hi, hi, I'm Emily."
Yeah.
But being open to that, and people are willing to hop on and talk, and I think everyone just innately wants to help.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is, again, another powerful tool. I'm always on LinkedIn connecting with people.
yep, absolutely. So, well, awesome. Well, one other thing that I know that you've done recently, which is absolutely incredible, is TEDx Buffalo.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us about it.
Whew, that was a whirlwind. I've always talk about what is my next goal, and I don't know if you ever heard of this term, but it's called BHAG, which I think is a very funny term, but it's called Big Audacious Hairy Goal, or Big Hairy Audacious Goal. That's what it is. And I'm just like, I don't. My friend's like, why does that have to be hairy? I'm like, I don't know. Like, that's just the term that we learned in leadership development. I don't know. So I'm like, what is my BHAG? And so last year, I remember it was New Year's Eve. And of course, that's when we always get super reflective.
Yep.
And everyone in my family was sick. And so I was like, I do not want to get sick. I want to be isolated. So I'm on my sofa watching the countdown, and I'm journaling. And I'm like, I really want to be on bigger stages for speaking.
Yep.
And so I didn't know what form it was going to come in, but I've always admired people who were able to take the TEDx stage. I had a mentor of mine who messaged me and said, hey, the applications for TEDx is coming about, and I think you should apply. And I'm like, I'm not applying to that. Like, that's the next year's goal.
Right.
Wait, Kendra, you're going back to what you say you want to do. This is an opportunity to apply for something that, not many people get an opportunity to do. And so I remember I submitted it the last day that it was due. You had to do a sample speech for at least 2 minutes, and then talk about, like, potentially how would you turn into a bigger speech. So I submitted it the last day that it was due. A few weeks later, I got a follow-up email saying that I moved on to the next round. And then a few weeks later after that, I was awarded one of 6 speakers to be represent TEDx Buffalo out of over 200 applications. And I remember I cried when I got the email.
Oh my gosh.
Because I didn't expect it. I'm like, oh, if I don't get it, maybe next year, it's something that I really didn't expect to receive. So it was a very great process. I met some amazing people. They give you a speaking coach. You go through several workshops to make sure that your speech is great to be on stage. People are asking questions about your speech while you're practicing. Like, maybe you shouldn't put this here. Maybe you shouldn't say this. Maybe you should say this. So it was a very humbling, vulnerable experience. I would definitely do it again. And so I took the stage back in June, and it was 3 nights back to back of me doing my speech. And it was called The Weight We Carry. So really talking about releasing the expectations of whether it's your coach, whether it's your parents, whether it's yourself, and moving into the next phase of your life. So personally, like I said, I ended up losing weight, but initially after college, I gained over 100 pounds, and I did not recognize myself from playing basketball.
Yeah.
I have since then lost that 100 plus more in the past couple of years. And that was a journey within itself. And so I talked about that, but that wasn't the actual crux of the story. It was talking about releasing those expectations. And when you do that, how beautiful, the next phase of your life can be, which really, again, is something I talk about Out of Bounds as well.
Oh, that's what a great topic. Will it be available online?
Yeah. So what happens is, after everything is recorded, they send it to the TEDx organization. TEDx takes a break over the summer.
Okay.
Which I'm like, we should adopt that mentality. They take a break over the summer, and then they resume at the end of fall, actually. And so the recording just got sent about a month ago to TEDx. They make sure that you abide by all of their rules, which you don't realize, but there's a lot of rules that you have to abide by with TEDx. Like, even something small, like stay within the red dot. You cannot move outside the red dot, like those type of things.
Yeah.
So they send it to the organization, they scrub it for all their rules, and then they will release the link shortly. So hopefully I can share that soon, and I'll be really excited when I do.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch it as soon as it's available. That is thrilling. And I love that you were able to tackle one of those big goals that you have.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know what's next. Everyone's like, "What's next?" I'm like, "I don't know. I would do it again for sure." But I'm just being me and just enjoying life and soaking up all the knowledge that I can and connect with people. That really gives me energy to wake up every morning and keep doing the things that I do.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great way to be. Like it really is just to
Yeah.
appreciate and value every day that you get to have. Like it's
Yeah.
just it's a beautiful thing. But
Absolutely.
and then you have a podcast as well.
Yes.
Black Gems Dive In. Tell us about it.
It's so weird being on like this side of the interviewee. But yeah, so Black Gems Dive In podcast. I co-hosted with one of my great friends, Akua Men's Adu. We started back in 2020 based off of just conversations we were having inherently as friends. During the pandemic, there was a lot of things that happened from the social unrest and injustices, things that were happening politically. My friend, Jamel Cruz, who is the owner of Cruise Control Media, he approached us and he's like, "Hey, you guys are having these conversations all the time. Get yourselves behind a mic, and start having these conversations." So of course I was hesitant initially. You look back at our old episodes, you're like, "Oh my gosh, like this is terrible." But now it's just, two friends sitting down, having conversations about life, having conversations about politics, having conversations about the future of our world. We've had opportunities to talk to so many different people across the nation. We were able to have conversations with Stacey Abrams, who is out of Georgia. She is a high-powered woman who is talking about voting rights and voter access. So we went to Memphis, Tennessee to have conversations with her. We've been to DC, out of requests from our Congress to have conversations. So it's just, a really fun way of sometimes getting out some of the things that we hold back on, like we want to have conversations with. So, I love it. As you know, keeping up with podcasts, it's very hard to make sure you have guests and make sure that, the producing is accurate and things like that. But it's very fulfilling.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. And we're going to drop a link into our show notes as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. That's awesome. Well, I know you mentioned you're still working on being in the moment, but any other fun things on the horizon that you want to share with everybody?
Oh, fun things on the horizon. So just expanding out of bounds and really what that looks like. Right now, I'm getting into some of the area colleges and universities, been working with Buff State University as well as UB. So again, that's been really exciting, but really expanding on that business plan. Next year, hopefully just personally more travel. I need to stamp my passport a little bit more. Last time I was out of the country outside of Canada was for the Bills game 2 years ago. We went to London. My friends went to Amsterdam, so we did that. So now I'm ready to stamp the passport again. Travel is just the way that you learn about the world, learn how we communicate, learn that we are just a small fish in a big pond. And so a lot of my experiences, a lot of things that I talk about come from traveling, living literally with the indigenous people of Australia, coaching basketball in Thailand, dancing in the streets with people in Cuba. It's just, our world is so beautiful, and I'm just looking forward to continue to explore it.
Oh, that's amazing. Any one place that you really want to travel to that you haven't yet?
I really want to go to Africa. I know Africa is a big continent. Ghana, I heard it's beautiful. I really want to visit there. South Africa. I feel like I need to go on the African continent. So hopefully one day I will get there. I've been to Europe. I've been to Asia. I've been to Australia. I'm like, okay, now I need to go to Africa. I would love to go to South America too, but yeah, so we'll see.
Oh, awesome. I'm sure you'll get there.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, is there anything that myself or my team can do to help support you?
No, I love, this conversation. So I really appreciate it. Again, the power of connectedness in LinkedIn. Emily, you have used your platform to really elevate other people's stories. So we appreciate that. I love the fact that, again, you are authentic to who you are, making sure that, that you're asking the right questions. You're bringing in your family, your son. I love that duo. So keep doing what you guys are doing and keep telling those stories and keep connecting with people because it's important, and continue to share your voice as well.
Oh, well, thank you. And yes, we love the podcast, and I could sit here and talk to you all day.
Yes.
And maybe one time when I'm up in Buffalo, we can actually
Yes.
meet in person. I would love that, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Please do.
All right, awesome. Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you being here tonight, sharing so much about your story, your experience, providing, tangible advice for our listeners. It's just been an absolutely lovely conversation that I have just thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you for
Yes.
being here.
Thank you to you, Emily, and producer Ken in the background.
Yeah, thanks, producer Ken.
You got it.
Yeah, and again, thank you for being here, and thanks to producer Ken, but also to Go Art. So I'm in a community art center here in Batavia, and through the use of a grant, we're able to use their podcast facilities. So they invite us in and help support.
I love that. I love that. Go Art. I love it.
Yep, it's a lot of fun. Beautiful. There's actually a party outside. Luckily, we can't hear them, but
sounds fun. Go join the party, right?
Yeah. Well, again, thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for being here. If you're new to the show, thanks for finding us. If you've been here a while, thanks for staying with us. We appreciate it. And Kendra, thank you so much for being here tonight. Yes. I hope you have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too, Emily.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.